last night, and I have feelings. I have lots of feelings about this. Did I like it? Did I not like it? I don't know. I don't know. So this is gonna be a rambly, ranty review. I don't know. Like, I just need to talk about it because, like, I liked it, but I didn't like it, but I did like it. So this is spoilers, by the way. Just there's spoilers in this, like, for sure. Um, like, where do I even start? So you know how in the trailer Luke says this isn't gonna go the way you think it will? Totally right. It did not go anything like I thought it was gonna go. Like, it went so far from what I thought it was gonna go that, like, I was just, like, surprised the entire movie. Like, there's just a couple things that happened that I kind of, like, figured was gonna happen, but the main things, like I thought Rey and Kylo were kind of gonna switch. Like, she was gonna be dark side, he was gonna, like, turn back to the light. Like, I thought that was gonna happen just because from the previews it looked like, like Rey, like, was kind of going that way, and obviously Kylo has always been really conflicted about everything, especially, like, killing his mom. And so that's what I thought was gonna happen. Or, like, maybe Luke was gonna, like, I don't know, maybe even be a bad guy, which, I mean, I didn't really think they were gonna do that because that would be totally off base, but I don't know. Like, I don't know. But, okay, so I just don't even know where to start. I don't know where to start. So let's talk about Rey and Luke. Let's start there. So the movie didn't start out, like, right there. I thought they had said that, like, the movie was gonna start at the same spot, like, Rey and Luke on the island, and it totally didn't. Started with the First Order, like, coming down to pretty much like Empire Strikes Back. So the First Order was, like, firing down on and gonna destroy the Resistance's base. And Poe Dameron is badass, and I love him. Oh my god, I love him. So he kind of saved the day a little bit. So it started like that, but there's, like, a huge sacrifice of their ships and stuff. So there's not many, like, Resistance fighters left, like, at all. By the end of the movie, there's, like, hardly anybody left. Like, they just wiped a lot of people out. So there's that. So it didn't start with Luke and Rey. And then, okay, so Luke and Rey, like, Rey's, like, his lightsaber, giving him his lightsaber back, and he, like, takes it, and he throws it over his shoulder, like, off the cliff, like, and he just doesn't talk to her. Like, he just, like, goes his way, goes into his little hut, and she's just standing there like, what the fuck? What the fuck? And, so he really does think that, like, the Jedi should, like, die out, and he should be the last Jedi, there shouldn't be any more, because just, like, he had failed so badly with Kylo and the other, like, the rest of the kids that he was training at, like, his Jedi temple. And, like, so he just thought that, like, it should end. It should totally end. But then, he sees Rey, like, do some shit, and he sees that, like, she tells him that, she feels this inside her and she just needs someone to help her. So he decides to, help her train a little bit. But then he sees, like, how close to the dark side she is. Like she could feel both so deeply, the dark side and the light side so deeply, that he just is scared of her power, just kind of like Kylo Ren. And then, so that happened. But then Kylo and Rey, like, share this, like, vision telepathy thing through the Force. Like, they keep seeing each other, like, if, like almost like being able to touch each other and talk. So you really think that, like, Rey is kind of getting through to Kylo about, coming back to the light side, and Kylo's like, did Luke even tell you what actually happened? So, Luke says that Kylo turned evil and took half of the Jedi recruits and killed the rest, like that kind of thing. But then, and Rey tells Kylo that that's what Luke said, and Kylo's like, whoa, that's not what happened, okay? Apparently, Luke saw that Kylo was really struggling with the dark side, and he thought that he was just so close that he went to his, like, room and turned his lightsaber on, like he was gonna kill Kylo. Like, but, like, Luke isn't the whitest, truest Jedi either. Like, in all the old canon, which isn't canon anymore, he was always more of a gray Jedi than, like, a total, either a Sith or a real Jedi. He was always kind of in the middle. So, but he, like, decided not to do it because he just couldn't do it. But Kylo saw him and thought he was going to kill him, so of course he, like, defended himself. And, he thought his trusted teacher was gonna kill him, so he, like, blew the whole place up and left with Snoke and all the Knights of Ren, which we didn't see in the movie at all. Like, what happened to them? Where are they? I don't know. So that happened, and so it's like you kind of feel like for Kylo, like, so in the first movie I didn't like him. I thought he was a whiny brat. Like, I hated him. I didn't like him. He was a whiny brat. This movie, I really liked him because you could really see, like, even the first one, you saw he was kind of conflicted, but this one even more so with him and Rey talking. And that was probably one of my favorite parts, is their interactions. Like, I just really love that. That was really good. So I like him more because I really, like, he really is so conflicted, and he's so close to coming back, but then he's not at the same time. So I really like that. So, I don't even, like, I'm just kind of jumping around because I just don't even know. I need to watch it again. So there's also, like, where the First Order is, like, shooting at all the resistance ships, like, in the trailer, and you think that Kylo might kill Leia, but he doesn't. Like, that's part, like, he's still not totally gone over completely, I think, because he looks like he's going to, and they kind of have the back and forth, like, Leia can feel him there, and he knows exactly where she is, but he couldn't do it. He could not do it, and he looked very upset when the other ship that did it. So the other ship, or the fighters, I guess, blasted Leia pretty much, and oh my god, you think she died. Like, it was, oh my god, like, I was about ready to cry. Like, the command room she was in was blasted wide open, and she went into space. And it's just like, oh my god, I can't believe they did that to Carrie Fisher in this movie. Like, I thought they had said that they wanted her to kind of live on through the movies, like, even though she wasn't going to be there in the next one, she was still living on in the universe, and then they kill her, and I was very upset. But then, like, probably the worst scene in the movie, honestly, it was just, I don't know if it was, like, out of place, really, but it was just really campy, and it, like, visually, I didn't like it, I guess. I did not like the scene visually, and it did seem a little campy, but you see Leia just kind of floating in space, like, kind of crystallized, and she's, like, dead, because, I mean, you can't survive that, right? Like, it's open space, you can't survive that. Like, you can't survive, like, a second out in open space, like, you can't. But then you see, like, her fingers start twitching, and then she pulls herself back to the ship through the Force, and it just was so campy. And it's not even that, like, she's never really shown any Force ability, because, I mean, she's Anakin's daughter too, so of course she's gonna have the Force, and of course she's gonna have those abilities. Now, we don't know if she's ever trained with those. In the Legends books, like the old canon, she did. She became a Jedi Knight, and she was super powerful. But we never saw that in any of the new stuff, so we don't know. But so I wasn't like surprised about it because I knew she's force sensitive, and I knew from the old stuff, like, she could do that stuff. It just seemed a little like just kind of weird, I guess. But I'm super glad she was alive. But she also didn't really do anything for the rest of the movie. Like, not really. So I don't know what they're going to do with her in the next movie. Like, who knows? So there's just a lot of stuff going on. So Rey and Luke, Rey eventually leaves because, like, she knows she has to go help, and she feels like if she goes to Kylo. Okay, let me start over on this point. She thinks that because Luke is totally like, the Jedi should be gone, they shouldn't exist anymore, that he's not the one that can save everyone, but Kylo is. Because Kylo is powerful, and he's like the last hope. If she can actually get him to turn back over to the light side. So she decides to go after him and to go like convince him that he needs to go on the light side. So she goes, and of course she gets taken captive because, and he takes her to Snoke, who just wants to know where Luke is. That's like all he wants from her, is he wants to know where Luke is. And so he like kind of tortures her a little bit, and you can see like Kylo is like really conflicted about this. Like, he like feels something for her, don't know what it is, but like they're connected, And then Snoke reveals that he was the one that put this force bond between them so that they could talk between space, and he was the one that did that because, just to kind of play with them, I guess. I don't really remember why he said he did it. But like he wanted, Rey to come, and he wanted to find out where Luke was and like all that stuff. So he's like torturing Rey pretty much. And then he like, force pushes her to Kylo for him to kill her once he knows where Luke is on the island. And then like you think like, you really don't think Kylo's going to do it, because I mean Rey is obviously like the main character in the series. Like really, like she's like the main character. So instead of Kylo killing her, he like has a lightsaber at her, like he's gonna do it, and Snoke's like, I know like your thoughts, I know that you're gonna do this, but obviously Kylo is just thinking like, I'm gonna kill the one I hate, which he hates Snoke. So he takes Luke's lightsaber that Rey brought with her, and it was sitting right next to Snoke, and like totally like just force like kills him. So, and then his body topples over. So from these two movies, The Last Jedi and The Force Awakens, we think Snoke is like a really bad guy, and he's gonna have like big plans, and then he dies. And it's like, what? Like, he just dies? Like, what's up with that? So I don't know. But so Kylo and Rey, they end up fighting together to kill the Praetorian guards that Snoke had, and that was like the best fight scene like ever. Maybe not ever, but it was really awesome, and the way they just kind of interacted and flowed together was great. Like, I really wanted them to like continue to be like whatever they are, like together, like fighting and being good and stuff like that. Like, that's what I wanted. So after that scene, after they fight, Kylo's like, we should let the past die, all of it. The First Order, the Jedi, the Sith, the Rebellion, the Resistance, like everything. Like, let's take my hand and let's go away from this and rule like something new. And, so he didn't turn good, like, at all. But there's still a conflict there. So Rey's like, no, of course. And so they're like, so she was like gonna like try and fight him with Luke's lightsaber, and then like they were both force pulling the lightsaber so much that it like tore apart. And then the next scene, you just see Kylo there, and Rey is gone. So she must go back to the Millennium Falcon, and he is now the supreme leader of the First Order. So that all happened. And then going back to, this is a really long video, I'm sorry. I just have lots of feelings about it. Like, I'm almost done, I think. I don't know. So going back to the Resistance, like, there's the First Order has some kind of like hyperspace tracker, which was actually mentioned in Rogue One as a experiment. So they must have found some way to do that. So people are like saying like that makes no sense. Well, they mentioned it before. They did. So anyway, so they have a hyperspace tracker. So they've been tracking the Resistance through hyperspace, and they're kind of low on fuels, and they can't really jump again. So they're just trying to outrun them enough where their cannons can't like fire on them. And there's this new character, Holdo, who is like the commander in place of Leia, because Leia's still fucked up from being out in space. So she, kind of takes command of everything, and Poe doesn't like that. And while this is going on, Finn and this new character, Rose, are trying to go to the casino world, Canto Blight, to get a code breaker, to get them onto the First Order ship, to disable the hyperspace tracking so they can get away. So that's all happening, but that really honestly seemed a lot of filler to me. Like, it wasn't really needed, and it didn't need to be as long as it was, but it was still cool to see like another alien world and like that kind of stuff. And I really love Finn, and I kind of like Rose. Like, she's new, but I kind of like her. So the Resistance is like, trying to outrun them, and Holdo decides like, put everyone in little ships to go to this other, well, you don't know this yet, just to kind of run, to take them on these other ships and run. So, that happens with some drama with Poe. He tries to do a mutiny and blah blah blah. Not super important, but like, so one of the best shots in the movie, like, it was like a gorgeous shot, and it was amazing. So all the people are on these little ships, and Poe, they realize that Holdo stayed on the ship because someone had to be on the ship. So she stayed, and everybody else left. And they realized that there's actually a planet that had like a mineral mining planet that a rebel base used to be on, and they're gonna go there to get like help. Nobody's there anymore, but they're gonna try and send communications to get help and like stuff like that. So that's why Holdo like sent them there. Like, they just thought she was trying to give them a little bit of time, but they were all gonna die anyway. So then the First Order, like, obviously they were tracking the big ship. They weren't tracking the little ships. But then they figured out that the little ships were leaving, so they started firing on the little ships. So, and then Holdo, which Laura Dern is like amazing. I love her. She hyperspaces the ship, the big ship that she was on, right in the middle of the First Order like destroyer ship, like just right in the middle. And it, like, that scene, they didn't do any music or anything in that scene. It was completely silent, and the theater was completely silent. Like, everyone was just like, what? Like, it was gorgeous because it was just like totally silence, and then like the blast, and it was amazing. So that happened, and that was great. Rose and Finn come back to they find the code breaker, and they go back to the First Order ship that eventually gets blown up, and the code breaker turns on them, and stuff happens. Finn and Phasma fight. Phasma dies. Like, I'm really upset because I thought Phasma from the first movie was gonna be like really badass and awesome. Like, she was the first like woman villain character we've had in the movies. So I thought she was gonna be really awesome, and then she just wasn't. Like, she just fell flat. She wasn't badass at all. She had like a couple minutes of badassery in this one, but not long, and then she died. I feel like they wasted her character, really, and I love her. Like, she's Brienne of Tarth on Game of Thrones, and I love her, and I just wish they would have done more with her. But anyway, so Finn and Rose get back to the ships and blah blah blah, and this is a really long video. I'm sorry. I don't know how I'm gonna edit this. Okay, so they're on this planet, and I think Luke has been kind of keeping track on what's going on, through the Force and stuff. Which, by the way, Yoda came back. Like, and it wasn't like CGI Yoda, it was old school puppet Yoda from like Empire Strikes Back. And he was so like sassy, and like he hit him with his cane and stuff, and it was great. It was like such a great callback to that. Like, I love that. That was like one of the best parts of the movie. But he just pretty much told Luke, like, get over it. Pretty much. Like, get over it. So, anyway, I don't really remember much about that scene. I really need to watch it again. But anyway, so he's been kind of keeping track of stuff, and they're at this base. They don't really have weapons or ships or anything. They're just kind of sitting ducks, and the First Order is like coming down on them. And then Luke appears and sees Leia, and that was a really nice like moment for them to get back together, and see each other, and that was great. And then he decides to go on a solo, go by himself out into the field, where the First Order was, to get Kylo, to like kind of like have a diversion so everyone else could get out the back. So he does that, and like Kylo like tells all the ships and AT-ATs and everything to like just fire on him. Like, so you think he's dead, which, I mean, there's like funny moments, and there's a funny moment right there, so I didn't really think he was dead, just because like it's Luke Skywalker, there's not going to be a funny moment when he dies. Which, there was a lot of like, sometimes like, I know these movies have like cheesy dialogue and stuff, and they have funny stuff, but sometimes it just shouldn't be funny at certain points. But that's a whole nother thing. So anyway, so they, do that, and then you see like Luke, and he's just like kind of chilling. He's like fine, And so Kylo like is like, what the fuck? So he goes, and like they fight, and then Luke was like, even if you kill me, I'll still be with you forever. And so like Kylo kills him, but it was just a hologram. He was just projecting himself. So Luke is still on the island. He's still on the island, but I think he's been close to like death or something. I don't know. Like he's been feeling like his time is over now. So he used like his last big, like all his strength left to do this, to for everyone to be able to get out. So he's still on the island, and he doesn't look good, and then like one of the other best shots of this movie, best scenes, was he's like sitting on this cliff, and he sees the twin suns. Like, it's kind of like a mirage. I don't think there's really twin suns, but he sees like twin suns at like sunset, which of course is from the first movie, and then he disappears as a Force ghost. His robes just kind of float away, and that was such a great scene. But at the same time, it's like really sad, because we don't have any of the original people left in the movies. Like, yeah, we have like Chewbacca, and C-3PO, and R2-D2, but I mean, the main three, like, they're all gone. They're not coming back. So that was kind of upsetting. So that happened. Rey comes back in the Millennium Falcon and like looks shit up, and she uses the Force to get everyone from that base out, because there was like rocks like a rock slide or something. They couldn't get out through the back, but she used the Force, and she like, so everybody got out and get on the Millennium Falcon, and but then you see her and Kylo still have a connection. Like, it didn't end when Snoke died, so you don't know what that's about. Like, they still have a connection. And everyone's on the ship, and well, happy. Okay. Oh, another thing. Kylo told her that he knows her parents were nobodies. So after like teasing through, the first movie and then all the way up to this movie, that Rey's parents were really important, and even some of the cast was like, oh, it's pretty obvious, or oh, it's really cool. Nothing. Like, what? Like, we were promised that we were gonna find out, like, for sure who her parents are, and they were nobodies, and she's so force sensitive, which I know can happen. I mean, obviously Anakin. But I just kind of felt like a letdown because they had just teased it so much. But I think he was lying. I think he doesn't know maybe, but I think her parents still are an important part. Like, I don't know if it is, but I feel like they still are, because that's such a big like thing to tease through all the movies, that and then they just like end up not doing it. Like, it's like kind of a cop out, I think. I don't know. I don't know about that. But so that was kind of disappointing that we didn't find that out like for sure. Like, I feel like he's lying to her. But so there's that. Can I talk about the porgs? They were so cute. Like, I loved them. They gave a little bit of comedic, comedy to it, but I don't think they did it too much. And I think they're adorable. And there's a scene where Chewbacca was like cooking one, and like all the porgs came and were like staring at him. And they were like all sad and like, and he decided he couldn't eat it, and then they became friends. And I thought that was cute. So there's porgs like through the whole movie, and I like that. I love them. So I love the porgs. They were cute. I didn't hate them. What else? Like, I just don't know where it's gonna go from here. I feel like I don't know. I know the second movie is always a bit of a, who knows what's gonna happen, but like, I don't know. I still don't know if I think I liked it. There's some parts I didn't like, some parts I did like, but overall I liked it. I just like, I'm also a little underwhelmed by it, I guess. I don't know. Like, I just don't know how I feel, and that's why I did this video, to talk about it. And yeah, I don't know. I'm sorry I rambled so much. Like, I want to talk about it, and I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this movie. I really want to see it again, just to kind of, solidify, sorry, I can't talk either, my thoughts about it. But I don't know. I'm like, I don't know what they're going to do in the next movie. Like, they're kind of off. The Resistance is kind of off by themselves. The First Order is kind of off by themselves. And I don't know. I mean, obviously it's going to be Rey and Kylo, like, squaring off, of course. But I still kind of want him to be a good guy. So I'm hoping, like, maybe she can do that, or I don't know. Thanks for watching my ranty, spoilery, rambly video that I have no clue, if I'll even post. Because I don't know. Maybe I'll do another one, like, later today when I can actually think about what I want to say. Yeah. So anyway, thanks for watching. See you later.